Yetta, which type of real estate investment is best?
The one that matches your goals.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.
We are honored that we've been able to create for you free access to actually 687 Life's Inside Track episodes, where we share insider tips, making house home, building wealth wisely through real estate. We're going to explore types, the basic types of traditional real estate investments.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we're going to look at, and we're going to ask you to look at which one, because probably one that currently aligns with your goals.
Yeah, because March is all about basics, right?
Basics, the basics.
Back to basics. So if you are a skilled investor, experienced, done lots of it, or you're a brand new, just thinking about it, even thinking about buying your first home is investing in real estate.
It's because it can, as we've said in so many shows, we haven't said it this time, but it's a basic. If you invest in your first residential property, which is what we did, we were able to take that initial seed money, and when that property had gone up some in value, we could pull our initial down payment out and use it for investing in the next property.
Right.
So seed money once and use it again and again. You can probably do that 4 or 5 times. And once you get a few, you can do it more. But 4 or 5 investment properties will create a secure financial future if you do it right.
Yeah.
Depending on the size, maybe you only need 1 or 2 because they're big.
Yeah. So there's a few types of investment property. The first one is your single family home. It's the simplest. Easy for a beginner to handle, especially if you already own a single family home. Owning a second single family home doesn't add any complexity other than dealing with the tenant and understanding that part. And it is also the one that's the most difficult to get cash flow.
Very much so. Now, what some people do, sort of a variation on a single family, is they rent out a room or two.
Yep, you
and
can start that way.
Does not fall under the Landlord and Tenant Acts.
That's right.
So
if you're sharing a space, like a meeting space or something.
Right. If you're sharing something in the house. And the other way we've seen a lot of clients take a single family is use the BRRRR method.
Yeah.
Right? Where they
can work. And what's BRRRR stand for, Yetta?
Go ahead. I know, BRRRR.
But it's getting warmer.
It's buy.
Yep.
Renovate. Refinance. And repeat the process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you missed the rent.
Oh yeah. You're going to collect some rent too.
Buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat the process.
That's right. I forgot one of my R's.
Yes. All right. So you can do that with a single family. You can do that with a duplex, triplex, or fourplex. Yeah. Nice thing with a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, if it's your first house, you can actually buy and live in one of the units and get preferential down payment treatment from CMHC for 5% if it's a duplex, 10% if it's a tri or a fourplex.
Which is pretty neat. That's not a lot. Because with a regular investment property, now that we're moving on to the other, well, not all of them. Generally, you'd need 20% down.
Yeah. And the beauty is with going to a duplex, tri, or 4, you've now got a few units. If one goes vacant, it's not like the whole place is vacant.
Right.
So your cash flow isn't as heavily affected, and you can bring someone else in there. And quite often when you bring the new tenant in, it's at a higher rent. So, landlords used to be, I don't want a vacancy. I don't want a vacancy. But now vacancy is not a bad thing because probably that person was there for a while. The rent's a lot lower than it is
even
going
if
to
you
be.
did your increase, the increases that are allowed under rent control, which isn't all properties, but it's many properties, doesn't keep pace with what the actual rents are doing, not in the Ottawa area. Anyway.
Exactly.
And the reason I thought about BRRRR is I was thinking about one of our favorite clients who utilized BRRRR significantly to get started into the investing realm. I mean, he did buy his first was a triplex. His first was his own home and then a triplex. And then he did an Airbnb in his own home. So he did a bunch of different things, but one of the things he focused on was the BRRRR method. And eventually what happened for him and his bride, because they did this together, is he brought her along on the journey, and now their full-time business is investing in real estate and partnering with people to invest in bigger projects. And so we have on June 5th, a workshop. Actually, it's a boot camp being hosted by us, but facilitated for the first time ever in Ottawa, Amanda Holmes from the Ultimate Sales Machine. And it's for anybody that's in business, whether it's an investing business, a real estate business, a dental business, or even a larger business where you're responsible for driving profits or increasing sales. And so if you haven't got a ticket yet, like go on to the dekkerteam.com website and make it happen, because we won't be doing this again. It is once.
Nice invitation, Yetta. All right. So next level is, of course, 5 units and above, because we talked up to 4 units, right? So 5 units, everything changes at 5 and above.
Which you would think it gets worse, right? Because you need more down payment.
No, not
which
necessarily.
Used to be the case.
Yeah. Could be. Like in traditional lending, it might be 20, 25, 30, 35%. Like our apartment building we bought about 3.5 years ago, I think. We paid 37% down because that's all they would finance it at. Now there's the MLI Select program, which the government's put in place to encourage investments in multi-units and to encourage some affordability in the rent.
And also not only affordability, but also energy efficiency, because it gives ratings for taking care of additional aspects more than just creating housing.
Right. And the beauty is of many multi-units, many of the rents are below market. And you have to have a certain percentage below market to qualify for the MLI Select program. But the beauty is it's as low as 5% down, and also as high as 50-year amortization. So now suddenly you can buy a property with not much down, a bigger property, more expensive property, that you can increase the value quickly by raising the rents in some of the units that go vacant. And the ones that are below market rent, you just leave them because you need a certain percentage to qualify for this preferential mortgage, and it also has a lower interest rate. So how can you beat that?
It's so good. And we've been helping people do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a 10-minute journey.
No, it's a longer process.
A longer process and worth the wait or worth the patience.
Yeah. And then the next one, again, usually more seasoned investors look to this, and that is commercial real estate. It's the real estate that, you see people holding retail in, or office space, or industrial, light industrial, heavy industrial. Somebody owns those buildings, and most of them are rented. Right? Which means an investor bought them. And the nice thing with commercial is typically your rent is your rent, and then you have extra rent, and the extra rent covers taxes, insurance, maintenance, all kinds of things. So it's a whole different kettle of fish.
And you're familiar with it. So if you're thinking about it, you can still connect with us. Because what is the best investment that exists?
Well, I say this many times, and eventually it's going to be my quote, but originally it was Louis Glickman said, the best investment on earth is earth. And we're glad that you've joined us, because we're clarifying your options. And when your options are clear, your decisions will be wise.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.